All right, guys, so strength and power workout. We're going very low volume, very high intensity. So let's just get warmed up. It's more of a knee dominant workout, so more of a vertical force centered workout. So let's get warmed up. I like to go heels elevated on a slant or plates, and then I come all the way down and I just come up halfway and back down. We just want to grease the knees a little bit. I'm just going to go till I get about 7 or 8 out of 10 burn in the quads. And then Elijah's gonna step up and go. I'm gonna do this workout. Elijah's also gonna do this workout. He's gonna do the regressions. I'm gonna do the progressions. So I don't want you to get too fatigued here. I just want you to feel that good burn in the quads and start to get a little bit of blood flow going in the patella tendon. Go ahead, Elijah. You can do 1 to 2 sets here. Yep. Of course, you guys can do your normal warm-up, get your general warm-up, whatever you need to do. We're already warm, so we're just starting with our specific warm-up, getting the knees nice and greased. Once you get that 7 or 8 out of 10 burn in the quads, you're done. Okay, so let's get into our first power exercise. So I'm gonna do a trap bar high pull into a jump. If you have a trap bar, you're pretty advanced, this is gonna be our best option. If not, like Elijah hasn't done any type of high pulls or Olympic lift variations, so he's gonna go kettlebell or dumbbell, and ideally around 50% of his body weight. So I think this one's about 35–40% of his body weight. So step up here. This one's gonna be from the floor, so it's here. Jump as high as you can. As soon as you land, you reverse it and jump again. So that's all 1 rep. He has 3 reps here. Boom. Yep. No. So you go from the ground, up, land, up, and then back down and rest. Up, rest. You gotta set it down. Set it down and relax. There. Boom. 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 Good. Just 3. That's it. So it ends up being 6 total jumps. The reason this one's so beneficial is we get a pure concentric. So pure concentric force from the floor, and then I get a reversal, so then I'm working on that stretch shortening cycle. So it's 2 different qualities paired in one. If that feels light, you can always go up. We got 5 sets here with my trap bar high pull. If you're comfortable with a barbell high pull, you could also do a high clean, a hang clean. But this, I think, is way better with the trap bar because, as you can see, I can actually get a good jump with it. So I'm gonna set up in my deadlift position and I just go high pull, right? So a high pull, I'm really just trying to get this bar above belly button level. I'm trying to get it up as high as I can. Then it's gonna be a free drop. And then as soon as I catch it, I gotta reverse and jump as high as I can. So this is my warm-up weight. High pull. Jump. That counts as 1 rep. I'm only gonna do 2. So if you're doing the easier version, you're doing 3 reps. I'm doing 2 reps, so that's 4 total. Take about 2 minutes off. I'm gonna start at a little bit above body weight, right? So I'm 200 pounds. I'm gonna start at 225. Go ahead, Elijah. Bend your knees down. Bend your, go down. Chest up a little bit. There. Now jump from there. Push, push. Yep. 1 more. Push. Good. So I'm going to 245s on each side, 225 pounds total. Use the heaviest weight that you can with good form while getting the bar above belly button height. So as long as I'm getting it like above belly button height, now that bar is falling from a high position, so it's gonna be a lot of force to stop it and reverse it into my jump. See how long that amortization, so the amortization is at the bottom where I'm trying to reverse to go up. I'm getting stuck in quicksand. That's how you know I'm really training that stretch shortening cycle. All right, Lash. Remember on this one, if you're doing it with dumbbells, you're not gonna be able to get to the floor. So you're just gonna start with the dumbbells in hand right here. Make sure it's like a full 2-second pause, because I don't want to rely on momentum. So I'm here and then a quick reversal. But if you do have that kettlebell, I don't want to be starting here. I want to be starting here. So chest up as much as we can, back flat, and then explode from there. You guys can go up there. Generally the goal is about 50% body weight. Of course, on these power exercises, take as long as you need for rest. For me, if I take too long, I feel a little bit stale. So I generally like to take around 2 minutes. Some people like to take up to like 5 minutes. As long as you don't feel fatigued, you can start your next set. Ooh. How many sets you got? 3? Yeah. So we got 2 more. We got 5 total sets. All right, go ahead, Lash. All right, set 4. So that's about as heavy as I'm going to be able to handle while still getting it above belly button height. If I went any heavier, it turns into just like a deadlift. I wouldn't be able to get the actual high pull. You got 4? You got 1 more? You got 1 more, Lash? That's it. Didn't get the high pull. That's how I know it's getting heavy, or my rest times are not long enough. There it is. So make sure that the bar is light enough to where you can still get the jump. So like that last one, I barely got off the ground. I still want to be able to jump a couple inches. So I probably should have went down a little bit on that last set. But either way, I'm still getting that good the number one stimulus we need is that point of reversal. Heavy bar, dropping from a high height, catch it, reverse it. So even if you mess up the loading a little bit, we're still gonna get really good forces at the point of reversal. Take your time, grab a drink, take a couple minutes. We're gonna go into our squats. All right, so we're moving on to our max strength squats. Now, advanced athletes, we're gonna do a barbell back squat, or if you have a machine squat is always good. He's not doing barbell back squats yet. He's in 8th grade. You could do it, but especially the max strength where you're like going as heavy as possible for 2 reps. I don't really like kids that young doing that max strength. And so he's gonna get his max strength stimulus on the leg press. So if you're gonna use the leg press option, we're going off the pins. So I'm not pulling the pin, I'm setting up the chair so that I'm just beneath 90 degrees. And then I'm exploding off and control down for 2. Explode off, come down for 2. All you're getting is 3 reps, and then we switch to the other side. So every rep, I set it down on the pins, and then I go again. All right, so I want to get that starting strength. So he's gonna go 400 PSI for his first one. We have 5 sets of 3. Yep. Good. So that's pretty light. We're gonna count that as the warm-up set. That's not gonna be our first working set. I'm gonna warm up here on the back squat at 135. On the squat, whatever depth is comfortable for you. It's most comfortable for me to get about thighs parallel. So right about there. I'm just going 4 for my warm-up set, and then I'm gonna go up to 225, so 245s on each side, and that's gonna be my first working set. Now, I want you guys to go as heavy as possible with good form, and we don't come to true failure. Not on a back squat, it's just not really worth the risk. So I don't want you fully coming to a stopped position and then pushing past that sticking point. I want that bar to be pretty smooth all the way up. It could be slow. I'm trying to move it fast, but it could be slow like that. Maybe if you're measuring 0.5 meters per second is the slowest I would want it to be. So somewhere between like 0.5 and 0.7 ideally. But when you get down in those lower ranges, the bar gets stuck and you start compensating to get it up. We don't want to quite go that heavy, all right? So back to Lige, you got 3 reps. How's that weight? So guys, on your max strength work, you really don't want more than 1 rep in reserve. So you did 3, you probably could have done what, 5, 6, 7? Yeah. So he got 3, 4 reps in reserve. It's too much, so he's got to go up. Let's count that as your first working set, but next set, let's go 575. If you guys have a weightlifting belt, I like to use that for our heavy squats. Just get a little extra back support. So that was a pretty good weight for me. I haven't been doing heavy back squats lately. So the old me would laugh at how hard that actually was for me. But when you're first getting back-to-back squats, you're still trying to figure out the form. I feel like I got a good stimulus there. Like, remember, it's okay to stay at a weight that feels like kind of heavy, but not anywhere near your max. Maybe it's 80, 85%. As long as I'm trying to move it as fast as possible, I'm recruiting all those fast twitch fibers. So I could stay there. I'm going to stay there for my next set. We'll see how that feels. And then on my third set, I might go up a little bit. Go ahead, Lige. How's that? How many reps in reserve did you have?
Like 1 or 2.
Okay, 1 or 2. So what weight were you at?
575.
So let's go to 600. So keep in mind, that's not really a 600 leg press because PSI is a little bit different than actual pounds. So don't feel ashamed at home if you're not hitting 600 pounds in 8th grade. That's not a true one-to-one comparison. And then for you guys, like, I'm ready to go for my next set. If you guys are still fatigued at all, press the pause button on this video, take your time, then press play. Here we go. Try to move this bar fast. Decent set. Couple things on our squats. If you struggle to get thighs anywhere near parallel, you can try heel elevation on a slant or on a plate. Usually that frees up the range a little bit. If you still can't get thighs parallel, or to get thighs parallel, you collapse forward, it becomes all lower back. So in that case, just go down to wherever you can while still keeping your chest relatively upright. You'll have a little forward lean, but we don't want to have that full pancake. All right, so try to elevate your heels if you can't get thighs parallel. If you still can't get thighs parallel, shorten up that depth a little bit. And then if it still feels bad, go to a belt squat, go to a leg press. For some clients, they're just not built for a back squat. So pay attention to your body. Back to you, Lige. Here we go, big set. You gotta explode here. Yeah. How many reps in reserve?
About like at least
1? You're at 600? Go to 635. So I just threw the 15s on. So we're what, 255? And I'm gonna try to move this bar pretty quick here. I should be doing velocity tracking, but I'm not. Sometimes I don't like to use the velocity tracker just because I would rather zone out and go instead of focus on the data. But again, if you are doing the velocity tracking, 0.5 is pretty good. 0.4, 0.5 would be the slowest we would want to be for our max strength work. Yeah, so that's as heavy as I'm going to be able to go today because I felt second rep, I was down at the bottom, and then I kind of just like pitched forward to kind of compensate and get it up. So I still feel safe there, but I'm challenged. And that's definitely as heavy as I'm going to want to go today. So that's 4. We got one more. You got one more? Yep. How many reps in reserve there?
0.
0? Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna have to take an extended rest on this one. For those of you on a squat machine, like 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness, they got some pretty decent squat machines where you can load up pretty heavy, and sometimes it's a little safer there to come to failure. Because there's less variability. You have unlimited balance, right? So like a hack squat, a machine squat, sometimes I'll come to true failure there. Just don't really want to get into that on the barbell back squat. Just not quite worth the risk. Set 4, here we go. Not bad. I think I'm gonna stay for my last set. Go ahead, Laz. Sir, good set. So guys, remember, you know, a lot of times people are kind of dogmatic about like, you have to do this exercise, you have to do the barbell back squat. You have to do what feels right for you. So I'm saying for this workout, we have to do a max strength or near max strength knee dominant exercise. It's all I care about. So that could be a leg press, that could be a back squat, that could be a hack squat, that could be a Smith machine rear foot elevated. I don't care. Something where it's knee dominant, we're bending our knee in that squat pattern. It really, like, a lot of people overthink the details of like, oh, I can't do it on a back squat because it hurts my back or whatever, and they freak out. Whatever works for you. Even our clients in person, sometimes I'll do an assessment and I'll have an idea of which one's gonna work better for them, but they might try it and they just don't look great on it. So we just adjust. All right, so even in person, if I'm coaching somebody, we don't always do back squats. It's whatever fits them best. Last set, here we go. So that was a rough first rep, really bad second rep. You guys see me pitch forward, heels came up. So that's how I know that this is my max weight right now. Get a couple sessions in after a couple weeks of this phase. I'm probably gonna get up to at least 345s on each side, if not a little more. But right now, I gotta live to see another day. So I don't wanna go to true max, hurt myself, and then not be able to continue in the next couple weeks. So our next superset is gonna be a little bit more hip dominant. Skip the last part of the superset if your knees are cooked, if you're just tired, if you got some tendon pain, skip that part because it does involve a jump, although it is gonna be more of a hip dominant jump. So what I'm gonna do is hold on to something. It could be the back of a bench, pole, power rack, whatever you want. Inside leg is the working leg. I'm gonna hold on lightly here. I'm gonna go into my RDL, full range of motion, and then I'm gonna put this dumbbell right on my thigh, and I'm letting my thigh lift it to activate that hip flexor, and that back glute is fired up. That's the key right there, is that hip lock with the back glute, all right? I'm gonna go nice and heavy. I'm gonna go like 60, 65 pounds. Lige, you're gonna go 25 pounds to start. All we got here is 5 reps. So we're here to here. Make sure at the bottom, back is nice and flat. This back leg is not down here. This back leg is up. That thigh is almost even with the torso. So we're here to here, a 1 second hold at the top. We have 5 reps, and then we come into a box. The box needs to be below knee height. And I'm gonna do a hip dominant repeat step up. We're gonna go 5 here as well. So knee dominant step up would be here. Hip dominant, I'm getting my chest kind of over this knee. And then from there, I'm exploding up, come back down, rest. Explode up, come back down, rest, all right? So we are using that quad, but you'll feel a lot of it in the glute because of that leaned forward position. So Lige, go ahead. We got 3 sets of 5 on each. Yep. One second hold at the top. That 1 second hold is where you squeeze that glute, squeeze that front hip flexor, yeah. Hold on a little bit lower, because at the bottom you have to reach up so high, so hold on with your right hand lower, there. And you guys should be able to do this without hand support, but because I want to load it a little heavier, I want you to have just a little bit of hand support. And you know you're going too low if your back starts to round. He's doing a pretty good job of keeping a flat back. But if you're going down, you start rounding your back, you're going too low. So that would just be here. Just work with whatever range you have. So now we're left leg. Yep. Left leg glute and hamstring. Right side hip flexors. That's the front of the hip. Sending a lot of forces across the pelvis. So this is awesome for all your pelvic stability muscles, glute medius. Take 30 seconds though. So this is a more of an alternating set. So we go here, take a little bit of a break. Whatever leg you started on here, so you started right leg down, you're starting right leg up on the box here. So it's gonna be right leg and then left leg. Just make sure you don't have any fatigue creeping in. Once you're fresh, you're good to go. Here we go. Go ahead, Lush. And in between legs, you guys can always take breaks too. Yep, but lean your chest forward a little more. There, explode. Explode. No, 5. Yeah. Full recovery. Ooh. That one you guys should feel a lot of hamstring. A lot of hamstring, a lot of glute. And some hip flexor. My right leg feels good to go. I'm gonna cut my rest a little short here. So I'm thinking, I like to visualize first step explosiveness here. This is one of the most specific first step drills. Even though I'm going vertically, here I'm pushing horizontally, but it's that same movement as that first step. And because I visualize first step, I don't go two arms at the same time. I go opposite with the arms. As far as the weight on this one, we're really going for feeling. I don't necessarily need you coming anywhere near failure, maybe 3-4 reps in reserve. So if you get to 5, ask yourself, could I have done 8? That's a good weight. If you could have easily done like 12, 15, obviously that's too light. But really I want like an 8 out of 10 burn, hamstring, glute, opposite hip flexor. So this one is more about feeling than it is moving a really heavy weight. That being said, some of our NBA players are getting pretty close to like 100 pounds. So we'll have 90, 100 pound dumbbell. Sometimes the grip is almost limiting factor. We'll have to use straps. And that goes for anything like that trap bar that we did. If you want to use straps, do it, because I don't want the limiting factor to be your grip. But some guys are getting so heavy, we got to give them straps, 90, 100 pounds, and they're crushing these. Remember, with unilateral exercises, take breaks in between if you need to. Because remember, even though one leg is resting, it's not working, your nervous system is still working. So my brain is working hard to send all those signals to this leg. Now the brain's a little bit fatigued. So even though that leg doesn't feel tired, it's not fatigued, the brain is still fatigued. So take your time in between legs. You can go and start yours, Lash. Yep. Get up. Ooh. Whew. An advanced variation, if you guys want to switch it up too. I wouldn't do it in your first couple weeks. In your last few weeks, if you want to add some speed to the eccentric, you can. Really good for hamstring injury prevention. When I start to get to a fast drop, fast reversal, it's a little bit more advanced, but that fast eccentric speed is really, really good for the hamstrings. Let's go, let's get up. Get up. Ooh. Oh my God. I think people underestimate how good a step-up jump is for your first step explosiveness. It's so specific. Even though it's in a different direction, you're building that raw engine. Vertical force is the engine of all athletic movements. The direction we produce that force is the steering wheel. Footwork is the steering wheel. So that same motion, this same vertical force motion, extension of the hip, extension of the knee, extension of the ankle. If I just do this with this foot back behind the leg, what happens? I go forward. Nothing changed here. It's still that same extension pattern. So that's why I always say the vertical force is the engine and footwork is the steering wheel. So right now we're building that V8 engine right there. This is your third? Take your time, get a good powerful set here. I might add a little bit more speed on this one, on this drop. Oh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Get up, Lodge, get up. Get up. So he's keeping his back leg back, which is actually fine. I only care about the front leg on this. So if it's more comfortable for you to do that, totally fine. I usually like to go here and drive the knee. It's whatever feels better for you. All we really care about is the power of that front leg here. Last one. The more out of shape you are, the longer your rest periods. So for me, after something like that, where you bring in some speed, it's gonna have to be a long rest period. Remember, this isn't conditioning. A lot of people have that theory of like, make it fast, short rest periods to get in better shape. Shape comes from basketball. So you wanna build all your conditioning on the court. Because on the court, we can build the conditioning, but you also build coordination under fatigue. In here, we're not building specific coordination or fatigue. Like, I want you to be able to hit shots while you're tired. So it's important that all of our conditioning is gonna come there. Weight room is not great for building conditioning. It's great for building strength. It's good for building explosiveness. It's good for building muscle size if that's what you need. But don't try to make it do too many things. I'm gonna go with my weak leg first here. I'm gonna go with that left leg. You already got 3.
Oh, we're not doing 4?
Just 3. Ooh. We got one more optional calf raises. If you don't have time, you're cooked, you want to go home, that's fine. We always got the time for the gains, so we're gonna hop on a leg press, do a calf raise. Or if you have a Smith machine, you can do your calf raise there. We're gonna go 2 straight leg. We're gonna go 2 bent knee, slight bend in the knee, because I want to work on the coordination of the soleus and glutes. So let's actually start with our straight leg. Still get your full range and then explode up. You can go 500. 8 reps. Two to 4 reps in reserve is fine here. How many reps in reserve did you have?
At least 2 to 3.
2 to 3. I think you had more. I think you probably had 5 to 10. I'm gonna go 600. You go 550. All right, so then our last 2 sets of the day is gonna be that bent knee. You gotta go down pretty significantly here. I was at 600, I'm gonna go to 450, and it's gonna be on one leg. We'll go 400. So if you're doing this on a leg press, I wanna push up. I wanna get a slight bend in the knee. I'm going one leg at a time, and I'm using this hand for support. And then it's just ankle range of motion, all right? The reason I'm using this hand is because the quads are gonna fatigue getting that isometric hold. So I just wanna use this a little bit just so that the soleus is the one that gets most of the burn and not the quads. But I don't wanna do this on a seated calf raise machine because I still want the quads to be active and the glutes to be active. So it's a little bit more specific, and this works on the coordination of that soleus muscle with the quad, with the glute. It's very important for injuries. So I'm here, slight bend in the knees. Elijah's never done this one, so at first this coordination feels really weird because you want to extend your knee. I want you to keep that knee bent and just use that ankle. We'll bring him down to 200 so we can get it down. Yep. You gotta push up. That's terrible. Look, you're just doing it with your knee. Don't move your knee at all. You're not pushing up with your ankle though. Like you're pushing a gas pedal. Better. There. Other side. You got to actually push into your leg.
Okay.
So push. Now just the ankle. There. 8. So you see what he did. Most of you guys naturally here, you're gonna go here. You're not gonna know how to like actually just use the ankle, so you're gonna try to use the knee. Do not let that knee move at all. I know a lot of you guys don't have a leg press. If you were to go on a Smith machine, you could just go here and then you're working right there. Go back down to 200 pounds. It's your last one. Yep, all ankle. So lost control of that left side a little bit, but that's good. That means it's a neurological challenge to get somebody to not move the hip, not move the knee, and just move the ankle. So that's good coordination that we're building there. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. Good high intensity lower body workout. You should be a little sore tomorrow, maybe even on the second day. But if you're overly sore, like you can't move for 3 days, then you know you did a little bit too much. You just got to cut back the sets. So keep the intensity high. So that would mean still do the low reps, still do the heavier weight, but just cut back on the total number of sets. So like we did 5 for all of our main lifts. Maybe you start at 3 and see how you feel. And then if you feel good, move it up to 4 and then move it up to 5. So everybody's at slightly different levels. Work at your own level. Get nice and powerful in this phase. All right, guys, I'll see you in our next workout.